Okay, the fourth component in the R3 approach is the 8 facets of physically working on our golf swing. When we have a chance to come to the range and do some practicing, hit some balls, have some fun, that's all good and well. We want you to do as much of it as you can, but when we do come to practice, we should have some sort of a regimen to our practice session, an agenda, if you will, of things to be looking out for in terms of developing a better sense and feel for that are going to be important to us as far as building a more sound and repeating and mechanically good golf swing. This is what the 8 facets does. Whatever technique it is, whatever swing method it is we're exploring, whatever tip it is that we're giving a try to, these 8 facets are going to be the same across the board with whatever we might be doing as far as our golf swing goes when we practice. As we say in the R3 approach, we really have to be our own coach much of the time when we're involved with this great game. And again, if we're a good coach, we know what kinds of things to be looking for to work on and develop in our swing. Briefly, the 8 facets are as follows. Facet number 1 simply has to do with grip, aim, and setup. We'll go ahead and start our swing up by getting into that good grip, finding that good grip, aim, and setup position. That's going to help us begin our golf swing. Facet number 2 will be the angle. The angle is our primary source of power in the golf swing, so we want to be looking out for and watching what goes on in terms of our ability to set a good angle in the golf swing as we go from the ready position to the set position. The third facet in the swing will have to do with swing path. In other words, as we work on that angle, as we work on going from the ready position to the set position, we then will be on the lookout to begin to feel ourselves moving that angle through an acceptable and repeating swing path that is going to help us to produce good results. The fourth facet will be our arm release, which is taking place down through the 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock impact zone as we go from the ready position to the set position and then initiate that go move. As we make our pivots from the right side to the left side, we're going to feel our arms releasing over nicely through this 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock impact zone down here at the golf ball. And then facet number 5 will have to do with our body release. In other words, as we're making these swing motions, we're going to be aware of the body release that we're making, in that on the backswing, as we go to the set position in the swing, we'll pivot into that right or trailing hip. As we initiate that go move, we're going to pivot into that left hip. As we make that swing through the bottom, through the 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock impact zone. And then facet number 6 is going to have to do with rhythm and timing. As we make all these movements, the rhythm and timing that we're doing it with are what ultimately is going to determine the quality of any given shot. On any swing we make, we have to have good rhythm and timing, sequencing the different parts of our body in such a manner that we have good rhythm and we go through a well-timed, complete swing motion as we make this golf swing. And then facet number 7 is going to have to do with touch and feel. Now, touch and feel are very important to the quality of any golf shot, in that we want to find the sweet spot, or the center of the golf club, the face of the golf club. In order to do that, we have to have good touch and feel. Touch and feel lies out in our forearms, wrists, and hands. So as we handle the club on the practice tee, we want to be aware of the touch and feel that we have relative to the club face position. And then facet number 8 is simply going to have to do with the physical process of stretching, getting our body ready to make these golf swings when we head to the practice tee. Too often folks will head to the tee anxious to hit some balls and begin going ahead and swinging away without really properly loosening up. So the physical process of getting good and loose as we begin to hit some shots on the practice range is very important to do. So again, these 8 facets are all happening virtually at the same time. As we make our golf swing, it's only taken 1.5 to 2.5 seconds, and all 8 of these facets will be involved during that movement. So collectively, they're all happening at the same time, but we can in fact break them down and be looking at and paying attention to each one individually as we do our practicing. And these 8 facets can be done, of course, anywhere, anytime in terms of our thinking about them. It's a really good process to use the release board to feel and understand these same 8 facets as we make them. In other words, we'll get in the ready position, pivot into the set position, go ahead and make our go move down through the 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock impact zone. We've got the ready, set, go move going right here. We're in a ready position, set position, go. During that go move, we're feeling that angle moving through a good swing path as we make that downswing move down through the 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock impact zone. We're feeling that angle release with our arms through that part of the swing. We're also feeling that pivot take place right to the finish of our golf swing. This is all being done with good rhythm and timing. So these 8 facets of physically working on our golf swing are create a good regimen for us in terms of any time that we're out hitting balls on the range. So have a look at component number 4. Get these 8 facets in front of you in terms of what it is you're going to be watching out for when you do go spend some time on the practice range hitting some balls. Okay, so we always say again, let's do good work.